Hi guys, hope everyone's fitting well. Welcome to another kit review. So today we're having a look at a kit from Hella. It is in 1/35 scale. It is their Somua S35. I hope I pronounced that correctly. This kit came out originally in 1977, and this particular one is a rebox from 1999. So it has had some several reboxes. I believe it even was reboxed by another kit manufacturer, mainly for change in decals, change in box, some updated parts. Okay, so let's have a look at the box. What have we got? One tank, two German soldiers carrying machine gun ammunition racing past. Here we have the, and I apologize for that noise. Here we have the artist's name, unusually quite predominantly. So it's G Saber and dated 98. Okay, so that's not bad looking artwork. Fairly plain, but still not too bad at all. Definitely shows the tank off quite nicely. Anyway, enough of that. Let's have a look at the rest of the box. On the sides, you've got 4 different languages, brief history of the vehicle with some basic specifications. Okay, that's one side, and on the other you have got your usual warnings about, you know, glue not included, don't cut yourself, 8+ warning, made in France. Okay, so that is Hella's address in France. Okay, not for played with for none to 3-year-olds. Okay, usual warnings, things we see on every kit. Alright, so let's have a look inside the box. Put that aside, and we have one bag of screws. We have clear parts. There actually is a figure in here. And yeah, just one, no, 2 figures in here that I can see. Okay, and all in together, but no decals in here. That's interesting. So let's put that aside. Now there's something interesting. I guess this is definitely a 1977 kit. These are the tracks. They are actually in silver. How very different is that? It's not what we're normally used to, is it? I wonder. Might be able to get away with some aftermarkets. I'm thinking these would be quite difficult to paint up. Anyway, we shall see. We'll put those away. Alright, instructions. Okay, so we'll have a look at those in a second. There's the decals. Okay, so what have we got? Fairly straightforward. Okay, 2 German crosses, numbers. This looks like it could possibly be French, but we'll have to have a look. See, definitely there are in fact French number plate markings in here, so I guess we do get a choice. That's good, I like that. So that's your decals, very straightforward. Not much to those. This looks like a... Basically this is a missing parts request. Okay, something wrong with the kit. Send it off to them. I doubt if that's actually going to get a reaction nowadays. And what we have here is a kit catalogue for Hella vehicles and ships, Colombia. Interesting. I wonder if you can still get those. Probably not. Alright, so let's put that aside. Let's get rid of this and we'll have a look at the instructions in a second. Okay, so back again. And on the front we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 languages. Okay, and this is basically the same thing. It is a brief history of the vehicle, what tank divisions were using it, the fact that it fought in Belgium and the Netherlands. So that's always good to have a read of these. Okay, so interestingly enough, even though it says S35 and shows German tank on the front, it says both. Panzerkampfwaffe 35 9739F, meaning French, Somua S35. So it looks like we get a choice between German or French. Alright, so let's have a look at starting off in the beginning. Okay, so starting up, fairly simple. Bogies and side of the vehicle, so the tank, yep, main drive, idler wheels, etc. Okay, so then we get to drive sprocket, accessories. Okay, and then we get to the main idler wheel at the back. So fairly straightforward construction as far as the wheels are concerned. Then we jump onto, and as you can tell, this is a choice here. It looks like you actually have 2 French crew, or you could probably leave those crew out if you wanted a German one, because that would look really weird, French guys driving a German tank. Okay, so interesting enough, one of your crewmen is the driver, and they actually show him going inside already into the hull. Then we get to the tracks. So you've got your running gear, put your tracks together. That's fairly straightforward, but yeah, I'd be looking to see if you could get an aftermarket or possibly use somebody else's tracks rather than the silver ones. Right, and then we get to the hull. Exhaust pipes, engine hatches, front hatches, okay, visor slits, etc. So fairly basic construction of the upper hull. Same again on the other side. You've got toolboxes, tools, etc. going on the hull. Accessories like hooks, lifting hooks, etc. Then we go to the back of the tank, so we're back to the bottom again, putting on the tow hook, tail lights, okay, rest of the back fittings, and then we go to the turret. So there's not much of a, I'll show you that, that's your gun, so there's not much detail as far as the main gun and the turret machine gun are concerned. It's fairly basic. There's no interior in the turret, although it does show you a seat. You put your second crewman on and he sits kind of out the back of the, it's actually not a seat, that's the back hatch, sorry, my bad. So he's actually sitting out the back of the turret. Alright, so you wouldn't leave that hatch open. There's no interior details. So if you left open, it'd be just like an empty turret, and it just wouldn't look right. Unless you put a German soldier in there. Okay, and then all we've got is, let's see if I can see these. These are your side plates that cover the wheels, okay? So they're just another light bit of armor protection. And then it all just goes together. So it's fairly straightforward, simple construction. Turret, upper hull, bottom hull, done. Okay, so if you're going to paint, you definitely make sure that this was all painted first before you put these side skirts on. Otherwise you'll have great difficulty actually painting, and I don't see any way, although you might be able to do it, you might be able to get the track on without having to put it on first. So you might be able to slide that in there after you've painted everything else, but that would be a test phase you'd have to try. And then we just get to painting. So, as I said, it looks like you do actually get a choice of German, which is all over Panzer Grey, or French. So it gives you the numbers here. So hopefully on the back here it's actually telling us what colours to paint this vehicle, although there's plenty of references nowadays on the internet to what colour these tanks were. A fairly straightforward paint scheme. The one thing I did notice, there doesn't seem to be much in the way of paint call outs as you go through, apart from the figures. So that'll be something to keep an eye on. Alright, and so on the back we've just got basic warnings about studying the drawings, and your usual cut here, put a hole here, etc, etc. And that, as far as I can tell, is all there is. So that's your instructions. Give you another look at the decals. Okay, I'll give you a still of this in a minute anyway. So the decals don't look too bad, but it remains to be seen what they're going to be like as far as age is concerned. So, but I'm sure there's some aftermarkets out there for these vehicles anyway. Alright, so that's the instructions and the decals. Bear with me, I'll open up the bag and we'll have a look at the sprues very shortly. Hi guys, here we are, back again. Let's have a look at the sprues. So first sprue we're going to have a look at is the upper hull and turret. So if memory serves me right, these were a cast hull, and there really is no cast detail at all on the hull. The marks you see are location points for the driver's visors, etc, and the tools. There is quite a bit of flow marks in the plastic, so I guess being a probably original 1977 kit and very little updates, yeah, it doesn't surprise me. Old molds, very little detail, and there is flash on the side of the hull in various points. The bolt rivet detail on the side skirts, etc, is not sharp, it's not brilliant. It's there and it could be picked out with a bit of wash, but it's not, let's just say it's not up to modern standards of sharp, really sharp detail. Same for the turret. I believe these were cast turrets. I'd have to check my references, but there's no armor detail, there's no casting detail on these. It's fairly straightforward. This is your upper cupola, and I can see already, and if you can see that, right, so that's a divot from the actual mold that's not supposed to be there. So things like that occur when the molds get old, or the plastic cools down too quickly, just kind of sucks itself in on itself. So that's your hull and turret. Let's see what else we've got here. we've got here. So next up we have got, right, so there is no hull tub, so to speak. This is the bottom of your hull. These are the sides where your wheels attached to. You've got hatches with small detail, but like I said, most of this detail is actually where other smaller parts attached to. So there really is not much in the way of sharp defined detail on any of this. Bottom of the hull, in actual fact, worries me because it's actually got a curve in it. Now that could be because it's an old kit, but things like that happen. Like I said, when you take plastic too quickly out of the machine, or it doesn't cool down enough in the mold before you take it out, it will misshape. Alright, so I have worked in plastic extrusion, and that's what you see when you've just started the machine up. The mold isn't up to its temperature. You take out the sprue. This is what you get. It cools too quickly outside and bends. So that would be a challenge to straighten out. That's a main component of this hull. So yes, not terrific is all I can say. Not terrific. Not terrific. Alright, so let's have a look, see what else have we got. Okay, so next one. Alright, so these are your idlers. These are your suspension components, right, that your main bogies attached to. Various tools and fastenings. Some very, very fine bits here, which don't look like they've been molded, or I don't know if you can see. I'm trying to get in focus. Right, they're not sharp mold. It's quite soft with not much detail. So yeah, I guess it is. It is an older kit. It is an older tank kit. And Helen. Right, drives rockets, idler wheel, bogie wheels, sorry, and a couple of tools. So again, on these, no great detail. Let's have a look at the other side. No, not much great detail on this. No bolts or anything like this. There is some very fine bolts there, just not sharp. Not sharp and clean like you would expect from nowadays. Alright, so, but then you won't see these. Once you've got them on, you've got the side skirts on, you'll hardly see any of the running gear for this vehicle. Okay, so I'll give you close-ups. You'll get close-ups as we go anyway, you know that. Right, so let's have a look. Focus. That's spade. Interesting. Okay, so that's that one. And so we've got basically 2 sprues left. So I'll give you a look at this one. These are the clear parts. Alright, it's just your headlights. That's all. Nothing special there. Oh, focus, focus, focus. There we go. They look clear enough, but yeah, that's all you get for this one. Some basic, simple headlight clears. And last, you get your crew. So, unusually, not only are you have arms, legs, but the body is two parts. Alright, head, pack, helmet, and they're both the same. So the body's in two halves, and then you've got separate helmet, separate head, arms and legs. So let's have a look at, I'll turn this one around, the face. Focus. There we go. Face. Yeah, he's got his helmet strap on. The face isn't too bad. The details on the uniforms, yep, it's not too bad. Actually, it's fairly sharp, and yeah, it should pick out quite nicely with a bit of a wash and a bit of shading. Although you do get things like this on the figures. Alright, so that's okay. He is sitting down, but again, that's a mold fault. Alright, so that's where the plastic's been too hot, it's cooled down too quickly, or something like that, or it just hasn't been enough plastic in the mold for it to set properly. So that could have been, like I said, old molds. If this kit was from 1977, yeah, that can explain it. Okay, and that can explain it. Okay, and that brings us to the end of this review. So there you have it. Like I said, this kit cost me about 25 bucks Australian. It wasn't expensive. It did come off the internet. Most of my kits come off the internet. I have got some bad ones and good ones, but it is, you know, you pay, you get what you pay for. All right. Anyway, enough of me waffling on. I hope you got something from this review. Very simple build, fairly simple, straightforward painting. Internet references definitely. Okay, as far as painting the tank is concerned, as far as painting the crew is concerned. Like I said, no interior, so yeah, fairly straightforward and an easy build. The only thing I'd be changing would be the silver tracks. They're going to be hard to paint the correct colour. Anyway, until next time, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you later.